Summer is in full swing, which means for you parents out there, the kids are at home and looking for something to do. Luckily for you, the Xfinity editors have created a comprehensive kids' summer destination to keep them busy with hours and hours of entertainment. Just say Kids Summer into your voice remote to access this curated collection featuring a common sense media guide to summer entertainment, followed by a row of free movies and a row of free TV shows for the whole family. Next, our editors help kids pick TV shows and movies based on their mood, whether they're feeling funny, creative, adventurous, or calm. And if your child is looking for only the newest entertainment, you have maybe like a very, very picky kid who's like, this stuff is all old. I need something that just debuted on an OTT service. Like, right now, is there anything that's having a drip release? We've got that for you too. Finally, if your offspring have ants in their pants, try throwing a dance party using any of our curated musical playlists, or plop the kids down for some family-friendly podcasts and just chill out. Just say Kids Summer into your voice remote to get started. And if you're looking for a few recommendations on where to start, Disney has an absolutely stacked lineup this summer, including a new Disney Junior series called Pupstruction and 2 new Disney Channel shows, Haley's on It and Pretty Freakin' Scary, which is based on a book series about a once dead 14-year-old who returns to Earth with a pair of underworld guardians in tow. Sounds pretty freaking scary, right? Well, it's nothing compared to the TV shows and movies that terrified Nicole, Maddie, and I as children. Look at that transition.
Segue, incredible.
Perfect.
And we are actually going to start off with Maddie. I know you had like a very surprising film that frightened you as a kid.
Yeah, king of segues, by the way. Fantastic work, David. I'm going to take a little bit of credit here for this segment because I was very easily frightened as a child. And I actually have a curated list of things that semi-traumatized me when I was a kid. So that's why I was like jumped at the idea of doing this, because I have plenty of things to choose from. I was scared of stuff that wasn't even supposed to be scary. Claymation really freaked me out. Movie and TV credits, when they started to roll, really scared me as a kid. I don't know. So like I said, I had a lot to choose from. But one thing that scared me more than anything else was the movie The Mask. Like jump scare immediately. I don't like seeing that on my screen. To be clear, I have never seen this movie. Never seen it in full. Probably haven't even watched more than 10 minutes. Because anytime my parents had it on when I was a kid, I would just flee the room every time. It's objectively terrifying to look at the poster art even. What does Kwam say? Dripping with objectivity.
Yes.
Yeah, that is scary as heck. Nicole has tried to explain the plot of this movie to me on multiple occasions to convince me. And I tune her out. Like, I don't even want to hear it because I don't think I can get through it because there's too much deep-rooted emotional trauma there. Like, Nicole, why were they even cool with a guy with the green face? Like, they didn't act, when I watched a clip to prep for this segment, I was like, why are they just cool with his face being like that and have like eyes bulging out? Right. How does that even work?
I also know that Nicole geeks out of this because it's the Mask of Loki that actually turns him.
I was just going to say that.
I knew it.
Mm-hmm. Loki. I mean, Maddie, come on. You like Loki the series. It's basically a mask that Jim Carrey finds, and it kind of emulates the person who you are. So he's like a goofball. He's funny. He's heartwarming.
All right, kind of a creep, too. He's kind of a creep when he puts the mask on.
Everyone was a creep in the 90s, okay?
Put that on a t-shirt.
But I love this movie as a kid, so it's really hard for me to hear that it scares you to the point where you can't even watch it. Throwback, but I had a talk boy, remember, from Home Alone, and we used to record clips from this film just so we can replay it over and over again. But Jim Carrey was amazing in the 90s, and it was so outrageous, so ridiculous. You had to love it. It's all in good fun, Maddie.
I don't know. This is like kind of a two-parter because this was really like the beginning of my fear of Jim Carrey. I think I'm like over it now in my adult years between like this and the live action Grinch, which Nicole, you also know I cannot watch. Fled the theater when that came out as well. It's just like he made it a mission to make me deeply uncomfortable. So I'm never gonna watch The Mask. I appreciate the recap. I don't know. Maybe if you catch me on a really good day, I'll decide to face
I
my
really
fears. But
can't wait until you interview Jim Carrey for a hangout.
I'll tell him about this trauma that I've had to discuss in therapy for years.
I have so much to say, so I'm going to do it really quickly. First of all, Talk Boy, I also had it.
Mhm.
The commercial for Talk Boy, where it was like, "Hi kids, we're home early," was what they recorded to like mimic their parents and scare the babysitter who was making out with her boyfriend on the couch.
Mhm. I do remember that.
Totally nonsense. I loved The Mask when I was a kid, and because of this, wrote a fan letter to Jim Carrey on paper and mailed it, and he mailed me back an autographed 8x10 that was signed "Spank you
No
very
way.
much, Jim
Oh my
Carrey."
God. That's awesome.
I have it somewhere.
That's awful. Awful.
I love it.
Nicole said
you.
awesome. I say awful.
Yeah.
Also, Mask. Also, the scariest part of The Mask is that literally minutes before we went to go watch The Mask in theaters, my mom told us that she was pregnant with my youngest sister, and there's nothing more terrifying than that. Sorry, Amber. Amber's not watching this, but whatever. Yeah, we were like going to see this, and she's like, "Hey, like, remember I ate a hot dog the other day? That was really weird. It's because I'm pregnant. My mom doesn't eat hot dogs." And then we went and saw The Mask. This is an awesome movie. I wanted to be The Mask for Halloween like so many years, and they sold the costume with the yellow suit and everything, but it looked ridiculous. Like it was always baggy on anyone who tried it on, and it also cost $150.
Right.
So expensive.
See, the mask itself before he puts it on, that kind of looks like the Legends of the Hidden Temple Olmec guy.
Yes,
and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. It's once it like forms to his face and then his face is all this weird stuff. I will quickly say, I respect the facial acting from Jim Carrey. I know a lot of it is like obviously the prosthetics, and a lot of it's actually like him moving his face like that. There's obviously parts that they use CGI and stuff, but of the very small portions of this movie I've watched on YouTube to prepare, it was kind of impressive a little bit. So I'll give him that, but I don't think it makes up for the fear that's still instilled in me to this day.
I mean, you really want to be scared. Watch the Jamie Kennedy sequel to this movie.
Oof, yeah.
Talk about scary.
I did not know there was a sequel.
Yes.
It's really bad. Son of the Mask.
Yes.
Oh, geez.
Gotta love it.
Oh, all right. Nicole, what scared you?
All right. I am picking Three Men and a Baby. Now streaming
Love the
on
photo.
Disney Plus. Yes, I'm picking a 1987 comedy about three bachelors inheriting a baby girl, but not for the plot. No, just this one scene scared the crap out of me as a kid. It's about an hour in. Ted Danson's character is walking through the house with his mother and the baby, and for a split second, you can see a young boy hiding behind the curtains, peering out at them. My brothers and I would rewind the VHS tape over and over just to get a better look at it. But there were so many theories out there. Theories saying like this little boy died. He tragically fell off a building. He was now haunting movie sets, and you would find him in the background. And it just scared the crap out of me. But all that said, as it turns out, I think Ted Danson announced that it was all a big misunderstanding. It was a cardboard cutout of Ted Danson's character in the movie with a top hat. So moral of the story is, if you think it's a ghost, it's probably just Ted Danson.
Wait, I have a question. Okay,
Yeah.
when did this movie come out? This is a 90s movie?
87.
Okay, where were these theories happening? Because there's not message boards. Like,
No,
this
it
is
was
what we were
word-
tweeting about this. It was like, what, by mail? Like,
By
check
mail.
out this
No.
point in the movie.
Hey, back in the 80s, the 90s, it was all word of mouth, you know?
Dear Abigail, have you seen the latest movie, Three Men and a Baby?
That's what I'm thinking. Like, where are these theories coming from? Oh, that's so funny, though.
It's all word of mouth. I think my mom told me this theory, and like we were just obsessed with it ever since. So the whole
Are you
movie
sure
is
it's not?
great.
Is it not just within your household, or is this like
No.
Googleable today? Like all the theories, it's just
Yes.
like you and your brothers.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. Like it was only in our household. No. If you Google it, if you Google Three Men and a Baby and Ghost Boy, there's so many theories out there.
It's probably out there with the person, the munchkin hanging in the background of Wizard of
Yes.
Oz, or any other time that someone's thought they've seen someone randomly just dead on a movie set, because that happens.
Yes, that was another one. Again, I don't know if that was proven true or not, but
No.
it's just always scary, you know, like in a happy comedy or go-lucky movie, you know, you see a ghost.
The thing that's scariest about this is the way Ted Danson is looking at the back of this lady's head. The more and more I look at him, like, I assume he's looking at the baby.
Yeah. So wait, David, have you seen it?
I've never seen 3 Men and a Baby.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Oh,
there's
boy.
a sequel.
There's a sequel?
3 Men and a Little Lady. She grows up.
Oh.
But essentially, he's trying to pawn her off on his mother because he doesn't know how to take care of a child. That's the joke, that 3 men in their 30s don't know how to take care of children. So,
Wow, they're trying to pawn the baby off.
yeah, to any woman that they could find, basically.
Wow, check this out on Disney Plus.
I want another sequel called Son of the Baby.
Son of the Baby.
Chapter
baby grows
3.
up. So the baby grows up and has a son.
Right.
It's a son. It was a
There you
Son
go.
of the Mask reference. A big
Let's
time,
workshop this.
big time fail on that one.
Circle back on that. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna tell my movie, my pick for what scared me is so much more serious than what you picked, that I kind of wish I had more fun with it. But the movie that absolutely terrified the living daylights out of me was the 1982 Barbara Hershey horror movie, The Entity. Based on the novel of the same name, this movie and the book were based on the true story of a Los Angeles woman named Doris Bither, who claimed she was repeatedly sexually assaulted by a ghost in 1974. I had no...
Jesus, David.
I know.
I'm like The Mask.
No, it legitimately scared me. This is a legit story. So I had no business watching this movie. Absolutely none. But my sister and I had a babysitter who found this tape on one of my stepdad's VHS mixtapes. He had a massive cabinet of movies that he recorded off of HBO, sorry, HBO, back in like the 80s, 90s. And it was a massive library. He even had a book that like listed which movies were on which tape, which was really great as like someone who like eventually helped me love movies. But there was no censoring what we had access to and what we just randomly put in. Well, babysitter put this in, and holy crap, it is very, very graphic, full of nudity, and should probably not be watched by anyone who is sensitive to some of the elements that I've already mentioned, like big time trigger warnings. For many reasons, The Entity was highly controversial when it was released and even sparked protests in the UK. But it really was. But it really wasn't the terrifying visuals that ultimately scared me, even though they are 100% burned into my memory. Even as a kid, I could kind of separate fact from fiction. But when the credits rolled at the end of the film, it specifically stated this movie is based on a true story, and Doris Bither is still living in yada yada SoCal and whatever. And then I was mortified that I too could be attacked by the entity, because I was just like, this is fake, whatever. Oh my God, it's based on a true story. Holy crap. So for the longest time, I thought I was alone in my feelings about this movie, because as you both said, like, you had no idea that this even existed until I interviewed actor and comedian Retta, who is best known for her work on Parks and Rec and Good Girls. And she specifically told me the scariest movie she's ever seen in her life was The Entity. And I almost fell out of my chair. I was like, you did sit me too. Like, really scary, right? I can't even tell you how disturbing some of the scenes are in this. Poor Barbara Hershey, and poor me, and poor everyone who's ever seen this.
Now I'm so intrigued now. As an adult who likes scary movies, now this is like shot up to the top of my list for sure. I had it. Good.
No, you go.
I was gonna say I had a similar situation with the movie The Birds. I shouldn't have watched that as a kid, but as you can see, I kind of pivoted to something that was a little more silly. But it feels like we kind of had the same kind of viewership experience. But I don't know, you kind of sold me on this one, David.
It's, oh my God. And at the end, spoiler alert, I don't know, this can't possibly be based on a true story, but all of this is like ingrained in my memory. They lured the entity into like a lab and tried to freeze it with liquid nitrogen to capture it.
Like Terminator 2.
Yeah, exactly. And froze it, I think, into like a ball, and then it shattered. But that can't possibly be a thing that actually happened. It's really, really tough to watch. Good luck.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it. It's available on Stars and Tubi right now.
Don't recommend it.
In Kids Summer, you can check out.
Check out Kids Summer.
Segue your way out of that one, David.
No. Well, it was easier before you said that. Check out all the shows and movies we just talked about, plus so much more, simply by saying what to watch into your voice remote.